What is up, everybody, and welcome to another Fire Emblem video here on the channel. As you can see, today we're doing something pretty different from what I normally do. We're watching a video, and we're going to be reacting to it. So I don't watch a lot of Fire Emblem content on YouTube or on anything else. So this was actually linked to me by someone in my Discord. So shout out to Azrael's son in my Discord for linking this. It's a 1 minute video. It's pretty terrible, so we should be some fun reacting to it. I just want to say before we start, if you ever find anything that you want me to watch or you just want to link something, feel free to do it either in the comments or of any of my videos or in my Discord. I'll leave a link to the Discord in the description here. But yeah, he linked this video, and as you can see, it is titled "Fire Emblem characters all look the same." Literally all of them. Now, to be fair, Fire Emblem does follow a lot of tropes with a lot of their characters. You know, there's like a lot of axe users that look very similar. There's like edgy Myrmidons in a lot of the games. A lot of the lords look fairly similar. So there are a lot of ways to talk about like characters that look very similar. There's archetypes, there's tropes, whatever you want to call them. But this is a 1 minute video, and it's going to be fairly difficult to break down all of those tropes in a 1 minute video. But maybe that's what this is about, right? I just want to say this right off the bat because there is merit to the idea that a lot of Fire Emblem characters do look and even act fairly similar. They do reuse a lot of that. Of course, there are like hundreds and hundreds of characters, so that's bound to happen. That is not what this video is necessarily going to be about, but I just want to say that like the title of this video and the idea behind it does have some merit. But let's watch a little bit of the video and figure out what her opinions are and what she has to say regarding Fire Emblem characters all looking the same.
Why do all Fire Emblem characters look the same?
All right, number one, I know I stopped this right away. I just want to mention this right off the bat. So we're saying, why do all Fire Emblem characters look the same, right? And this is going to be a recurring thing throughout the video. We're showing 5 characters. Now, number one, these are all lords, right? And she's chosen 5 lords that all just happen to have the same hair color. You know, you can see clearly everyone who isn't Marth and like Lucina don't really look that similar outside of their hair color. Again, this is going to be a problem throughout the video. But what's really funny is that 3 out of the 5 of these characters are all related to each other, and Lucina and Marth are supposed to look similar. Lucina is basically the female Marth. So there's already some problems here, but whatever. Maybe she has something else to talk about.
Like, obviously, they're different, but there's a running gag about this for a reason. Yusuke Kozaki, character designer for several Fire Emblem games, says, character design is the quickest and most effective way to convey both a specific character's background and the game's concept as a whole. And the game's concept has a reason for why.
Okay, again, no, that might be completely accurate. I don't know that much about who designs the characters in Fire Emblem or anything like that, right? That seems pretty accurate. Again, we're showing the 3 characters that are related to each other and are kind of supposed to be the same character. So not great, but
These guys look practically related. It's because they are. Lucina is the daughter of Chrom, who are both descendants of Marth. They have the same color palette.
at least she mentions it.
They're the good guys?
Okay, but this is accurate. Again, this is completely accurate. She even mentions that these 3 characters are related, right? Which is, again, really weird to be. The crux of your video is literally every single Fire Emblem character looks the same, right? All 1,000 or however many exist. But I'm going to show you the 3 that are related. It's like, I mean, you're right, but, and again, right here, she's showing Marth and Ike. And again, Ike doesn't look anything like Marth, right? This guy doesn't look anything like this other guy. I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen, obviously. Like, this just, it doesn't make any sense.
Let us talk about some critiques now, though. Same face syndrome. Can you tell them apart?
Okay, this is interesting. And to be fair, again, I think there's some merit to talking about this. It is still bizarre. Like, you can obviously tell that, like, the bottom left is Ike, and I think the top right is Chrom. If you look at these, I think that's Corrin. You can probably, like, figure out what they all are. I think that one's Roy. Again, I also think that she's taking a lot of these faces from Smash. That's another problem with, I think, this content, is that this is very Smash-oriented, right? The only characters that she's shown are all in Super Smash Brothers, and I'm pretty sure she's taking all these faces from Smash. If you showed, like, the sprite from, like, Ike from Path of Radiance, you know, Roy, because I think that's Roy from 6, and then, like, Marth from the original game, like, it'd be really easy to tell them apart. Now, granted, it's probably a decent way to, like, encapsulate all of them, because they're all in that game, of course, but, like, I think this is almost sort of a problem with Smash, and just making them all very easy. But again, I think you can probably determine what most of these faces are fairly easily if you look at them. And like, of course, if you take off people's hair, it's going to be kind of difficult. So I don't really know that this has that much merit. But you know,
Hardly. However, many times Japanese animated characters are distinguished by their hairstyle, color palette, and outfit rather than their faces. So
I mean,
normally,
that's true.
face
That's
symmetry
true.
is not a problem for distinguishing characters. But when they all have the same colored hair, outfits, and swing a big sword, distinguishable faces might be nice. And I don't
Okay, so I don't know what's going on with this video, by the way. We might have to watch this at some point. I don't know what's going on there. But again, like again, so this is true to a certain extent. They love giving like main characters swords, but like she's showing off the three characters that are related to each other. Like Ike doesn't look anything like them. She showed Sigurd for a hot second. Sigurd's actually really interesting because Sigurd, of course, isn't in Smash. So it's interesting that she would even show Sigurd in the first place. But Sigurd doesn't look anything like um those other characters. So she showed a character that's extremely different. And again, Ike looks different. It's a 1 minute video, whatever, it's fine. But if you know anything about Fire Emblem, you know that this is like really bullshit and really holds no water whatsoever. All right, so basically, what I took away from this video is that number one, Fire Emblem likes to make their lords fairly similar. What's also kind of funny, and I didn't mention this, is that like she's showing the three lords that are related to each other. She's showing Sigurd and then Ike because they have the same hair. But you could show right Roy or even Corrin if you want to show newer lords. Alm, actually I don't know what color hair Alm has, but Celica doesn't have blue hair. I'm pretty sure. Ephraim has blue hair. You could show him like there are some blue hair lords, but there are a bunch that don't have blue hair. Um, and the other thing that's a big takeaway from this is that number one, characters that are related to each other, i.e., Crom and Marth, look very similar, and characters that are supposed to directly be designed like another character, Lucina and Marth, sorry, look very similar as well, which I guess is true. Obviously, if you know anything about Awakening Story, you know that Lucina, like the whole point of her is that she's disguising herself as Marth. So of course she's supposed to look like Marth. Like that. That's like a key component in that game. Um, but yeah, that's like I said, I don't watch a lot of this kind of like Fire Emblem content, so I'm actually kind of curious. And next up, we're gonna go down into the comments and see what other people have to say. Okay, so I just wanted to make the comments bigger. I was recording and then I realized that you probably can't see the comments. I don't know if hopefully it's big enough. We'll see. But yeah, I'm curious what other people have to say about this. Again, I want to make it very clear this is not like a harmful video in any way. Like this person is clearly just like having some fun with characters looking very similar. Maybe they only have ever like played uh Smash Brothers, which again, totally fine. But it is like kind of a crappy video when it comes to like the Fire Emblem community as a whole. So we have these Fire Emblem characters. There are Fire Emblem characters with different faces. They're usually called axe units, which I guess is kind of funny, but also like is sort of weird because axe units like chord board, what is it, chord board and Barst all kind of look the same. Like axe units also have very similar looks to each other, uh, and are like a trope in Fire Emblem games. Oh, hold on, I literally scrolled past the comment and then, um, but yeah, I mean, I guess axe units are a better way to look at like how units look different than lords, I suppose. Yeah, to be fair, Lucina was specifically designed to look like Marth. Exactly, exactly. Please. Yeah, she just was. So, um, to be fair, you can actually tell them apart just by their faces. Yeah, you totally can. If you look at those faces, if you've played Fire Emblem, and I haven't even played a lot of the newer ones, like I'm much more familiar with the older ones, and I haven't played Smash that much. Like you can tell them apart. 100% you can tell them apart. It's not like that difficult. They're all the same character. It was Martha all along. To be fair, what I do actually agree with is that Fire Emblem basically made one Lord, and that's Marth, and then just made every other Lord, personality-wise, just the same character over and over again. So if that was the point of this video, I actually like Loki totally agree. But yeah, no, obviously they don't all look like Marth, except for the ones that are supposed to look like Marth. Um, I blame Smash. Yeah, this is another good point as well. I blame Smash for their same face syndrome. You can tell them apart in their retrospective games. Yeah, and part of that is just that the original games for these characters have different art styles, so that makes it easier. But yeah, again, I still think even without hair and everything, you can still tell them apart in Smash. But it's a lot easier if you go look at Roy in his game, if you go look at Ike in his game, whatever, to tell them apart. I might be cutting this off. Okay, that's better. To be fair, it's probably more accurate to say that Fire Emblem main characters in Smash all look the same. Look at the very large cast of Fire Emblem. Many have pretty distinct looks. It's the lores that look very similar mainly. Yeah, I think this is true. Again, I don't even think this is 100% true because we're just showing the lords that are supposed to look the same. But I think this has a lot of merit because, yeah, the cast is huge. I mean, it's enormous. It's like taking, Pokemon. I can't think of two Pokemon that look similar, but it's like taking Pokemon starters, that look like fairly similar because they're like fairly similar animals or whatever. There are Pokemon that look fairly similar, and being like all Pokemon look similar because these two look similar, right? It's like no, there are like thousands of Pokemon or hundreds of Pokemon. I don't know, there's a lot of Pokemon. And Fire Emblem is kind of the same thing, right? You can go find Fire Emblem characters that look alike, and they clearly have, but that doesn't mean every Fire Emblem character is just the same character carbon copied. Again, not talking about personality and stuff. They do like to reuse a lot of that stuff. Um, okay, hopefully this isn't too cut off. Smash players may not know Fire Emblem has 800 plus characters, and though they're similar designs, I think they actually pull off the character standing out quite well. My favorite example is in Fire Emblem Heroes. So here's new hero silhouettes with art we've never seen, but you can tell. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I don't play Heroes at all, but yeah, that's actually a good point. Like when they show a silhouette. Now, granted, this is a lot of people like desperately trying to figure out what the silhouette is, but yeah, you can totally tell who they are. I mean, people are distinct. Um, yeah. BG. I'm not sure what that means. All right, I think we've looked at enough in the comments. Yeah, like I said, this was just a for fun video. If you have any other videos of people talking about some Fire Emblem bullshit, please let me know. But I hope this was fun. I hope this was enjoyable, and thanks for watching. I will see you next time.